Namaste. I'm Madhavi Menon and I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer.
Namaskar and good evening, everyone. What a beginning to a show that's going to be the culminating show of this year, 2021. It's been a wonderful ride. We've had so many wonderful people who've given us an insight into India's art and culture. And that is the vision of ALS, to spread the goodness and the beauty of Indian culture through the world, actually most of Asia. And we have a very special program today. What you saw was a preview of that. And you've guessed the dance form, of course, by now. It is Bharatanatyam. And Bharatanatyam is a very interesting dance form. And to just tell you a little bit about it, I would like to say that it is a classical dance form, presumably the oldest classical dance heritage of India, and it is regarded as a mother of a lot of Indian dance forms. Conventionally, a solo dance. It is performed only by women conventionally. Its performance repertoire includes nritya and natya. Accompanists include a singer, music, and particularly the guru who directs and conducts the performance. Interestingly, the name of the dance, this dance form, which is Bharatanatyam, was derived by joining two words, Bharat and Natyam. Natyam in Sanskrit means dance, and Bharat is a mnemonic comprising Bha, Ra, and Ta, which respectively mean Bhav for Bha, that's emotion and feelings, Raga, that's Ra, that is melody, and Tal, that's the Ta, which is the rhythm. So traditionally, the word refers to a dance form where Bhav, Rag, and Tal are expressed. And I hope I'm right there, Madhavi.
Yeah, fantastic. Bang on target. Yes.
So let me give a brief introduction of you to the audience. Dr. Madhavi Menon, who's our guest tonight, has been trained in the Thanjavur Bani style of the classical Indian Bharatanatyam by Padma Shri Guru Srimati Geeta Chandran, one of India's leading classical dance exponents at Natya Vriksha, New Delhi, India. Madhavi has to her credit numerous performances, both as a solo artist and as a member of the Natya Vriksha dance company. Madhavi has also collaborated with other South Florida-based classical dancers to present several critically acclaimed group choreographic productions, which of course, I suppose you've guessed by now, she stays in Florida. She's frequently invited to present workshops and lecture demonstrations on Indian classical dance to a varied audience, ranging from preschool to university students to the corporate sector. That would be very interesting to know how preschoolers take to some, an exposure to a dance form like this. And I'm so glad to hear about it. She often gives these performances under the aegis of Association of Performing Arts of India. Additionally, Madhavi has served as a judge in World Dance for the National Foundation for Advancement in Arts from 2003 to 12. She has a PhD in developmental psychology and is a professor of psychology at Nova Southeastern University. She's resided in South Florida, like I said, since 2001 and founded Natya Marg, a school of dance in 2016, where she conducts dance lessons for adults and children. Warm welcome to you, Madhavi, and we look forward to the evening and all that you have to tell us about Bharatanatyam.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Neeti, as well as the ALS platform and Manoj for inviting me this evening. I'm very excited to speak with you.
Thank you so much. You know, I just thought before we kickstart the part of dance, get into its nuances. You are a professor dealing with, psychology, so to speak. Has this dance form been of help to you during this period, or helped your students, or has it helped you in your imparting the subject that you do? Just out of curiosity.
I think so. I mean, I don't really see myself as separate from the dance. I've been dancing since before I was 6, so it's kind of a part of who I am. So I don't really know a life before dance, to put it simply. But yes, I think in terms of just personal well-being, when we dance, there are endorphins which are released, and that does sort of help our mood and our affective state. So absolutely. And it is, especially in the last 2 years or so, almost 2 years since the pandemic started, it has been a very different world that we've been living in. And we're all sort of coming to terms with, as they say, the new normal. So
yes,
it's sort of nice to have something. And it doesn't just, I mean, for me, it is dance. For somebody else, it could be music or, athletics, whatever it is. It's nice to have something where we're able to sort of put these worries aside. And when I'm dancing, it's, I kind of have an out-of-body experience because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just dancing. And once it's over, somebody asks me, what do you do? And I was like, I don't really remember what I did because I was not thinking about what I'm dancing. It just comes almost automatically in terms of what I'm doing. But yes, it has been a fantastic mood booster. In fact, I'm very lucky. I guess when we speak of silver linings, I always like to look for silver linings. And with the pandemic, my guru, I left New Delhi, I left India over 20 years ago at this point. And of course, unfortunately, because I was in Florida in the United States, I wasn't able to, and my guru is in New Delhi. But because of the pandemic, she was able to offer some of us who had left, literally flown the coop, in the last couple of decades, we were able to come back and have dance class with my guru. So that was really, really nice. And all of us, 5 of us, would await Friday mornings where we could have our Bharatanatyam fix, literally, with our guru, because there's really nothing like it. Sorry about
dance.
Yeah.
So dance and you are kind of an amalgamation. You are one, all of it, you, your work, your life, everything is all together, meshed up with the dance form that is Bharatanatyam. And that's what gives you happiness. I think your smile says it all, because it must be giving that, when you say silver linings, when you say happiness, when you say you don't do, it's out of body experience, then I suppose that's what it does. It gives, there's an inner joy that takes over completely, consumes you, and then, kind of extends itself and spreads to the outer world. Yeah, very interesting. And let's just move on to, it is an endeavor of ALS to showcase rich Indian culture. So you are in Florida, and as an ambassador of heritage, what has been your experience so far? You've given lecture demonstrations to preschoolers, to corporate, to university students. Do you also break out into a dance sometimes when you want to express something in the classroom?
No. No, actually, as a professor, it's pretty much a performance that I'm doing in class. There's sort of lots of things rolled up into one, comic, talking about things. But so far, I have not danced, but never say never. But it's not happened so far.
What kind of prompted me to say it? It's just came out because since I'm in education, and there have been parts when I found myself reading a play or explaining a play and then enacting it, without knowing it again. So I was wondering if there are certain bhavs or something that comes into your work when you're there in the classroom. Anyway, I'm sure the happiness comes through.
No, it might be there, but my students have not told me about it, so I don't know.
Okay, okay. So as an ambassador, like I said, what has been your experience?
It's been a fantastic experience. There are lots of people are very curious actually to know about classical Indian dance, actually just Indian culture. I wouldn't. I mean, you did call me an ambassador. I don't really see myself as an ambassador of sorts. I
Okay.
guess living away from the country, we automatically by default become ambassadors of our home country because
Yes.
people are sort of asking us, "Oh, there is this." Who is Aishwarya Rai? So, or they're asking, oh, there's this Indian restaurant. What should I order over there? What should I eat? So, in that sense, yes, we are. I guess every Indian or wherever you're from, if you're living outside, we are cultural ambassadors. We are representing our country, and it's very rich culture. So. If I am dancing, yes, people are extremely interested. They want to sort of know about the background, and a lot of people because know me in, especially at work, know me in a certain way, and then it's kind of like almost it's kind of surprising. But I would say that people are extremely curious. They're very inquisitive, and they're also Indophiles actually, and they are naturally very interested in knowing about it and just sort of broadening their horizon. So it's been an extremely enriching interaction. And each time I'm sort of speaking with any audience or even performing, it's a learning experience for me every time as well.
So I'm sure you get asked about, the significance of what you do. How do you convey to, say, a preschooler as compared to somebody who's in the corporate? When you are to express, the beauty of the art form that you are a part of to a preschooler, how do you say it, and how is it that you convey it to a university student or a senior?
Preschool as well. I try and put it in a manner that they can relate to. For example, we always start with, and this is, I guess, in a lot of our cultural heritage, we often pay obeisance to Lord Ganesha, who's regarded as the remover of all obstacles. And we do that in Bharatanatyam also. So typically, I mean, we start with the shloka, it goes Mushika Vahana. So I'll tell you, so it goes Mushika Vahana Modaka Hasta Chamara Karan Vilambita Sutra Vamana Rupa Maheshwara Putra Vigna Vinayaka Pada Namaste. So this is something that I do at the start.
Beautiful, Madhavi. It's beautiful. And if I haven't said to our audience, she's also learned classical singing. Am I right?
Yes, many years ago,
yes.
But I don't really sing, except
that was lovely.
Music.
That was lovely, absolutely beautiful.
So actually, to just put that in context, so
yes,
I do
please.
this when I'm starting, and I sort of explain the significance of what it means. So with a preschool student, I'll say, okay, so Mushika Vahana means the one who rides upon the mouse. So how do all of you get to school in the morning? You can some by car, some come by bicycle. Well, out here, Lord Ganesha out here is very interesting because he rides upon a mouse. And that's how he comes. And how many of you over here like eating candy? And of course, everybody raises their hand because who doesn't like candy? So I'm like, and you know what? Lord Ganesha loves candy. So Modaka, these are Indian candies that he has in his hand. And what happens if you eat too many candies? My tummy starts hurting. Guess what? Lord Ganesha loves his candies, and he ate a lot of it, and he had this terrible tummy ache, and he goes to his mother, Goddess Parvati, and says, Mommy, my stomach is hurting. I think my stomach is going to fall out. What would your mom say? Probably say you shouldn't have eaten so many candies. Well, Goddess Parvati told him the same thing. She said, okay, here's this piece of rope, tie it around your tummy will not fall off. So, and of course, if I'm speaking with the corporate sector, it's not going to be quite the same.
I know.
But it sort of catches their attention, and I hope. I mean, the kids nod along, and they seem to be.
I'm quite sure it does that, and it's a lovely experience you've shared with us. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So now let's come to the core of this art form, which is the Margam. if you would be so kind as to take us through the path of this dance form.
Okay, so in terms of learning, one can start learning Bharatanatyam at any time. Traditionally, a lot of children start learning around the age of 5, 6, 7. And the margam is, of course, how it is performed, how it's presented. And prior to that, we sort of learned the Aravus. It's, as Julie Andrews in Sound of Music said when we started the very beginning, when you read, you begin with ABC. So similarly, in classical dance, we learn the Aravus, which is basically the body positioning. It's like learning the grammar and the alphabet in the English language. So we learn the Aravus, and that takes about 2-3 years to learn the Aravus and just get the body conditioning. We call it Anga Shuddhi, to get that right. And then we start, of course, all of that, this is pretty much this is the training before we can write that book. And then when we are performing, we start with a Pushpanjali or an Alaripu. The Pushpanjali, and oftentimes they're both presented one after the other. The Pushpanjali, as you can guess, it's Pushpa with flowers, and Anjali is an offering. So it's a symbolic offering of flowers to the stage, to the sanctum, to the proscenium. And we also do a Bhumi Namaskar oftentimes as part of the Pushpanjali, where we are seeking blessings and permission from Mother Earth before we can dance upon her. And then we seek the blessings of the divine powers above, our teachers, our guru, and finally the blessings of everybody in the audience as well. So we are able to actually continue and go ahead with the performance. So we do the Bhumi Namaskar, and then we do the Alaripu, which is pretty much the first item that is often presented. The word Alaripu literally means the blossoming of a flower. So in the Alaripu, it's very localized body movements. For instance, just push it back. We'll go ta, tai, yum, tat, tam, kidata, ta, tai, yum, tat, tam, kidata, talang, ta, tari, kitato. So over here, the only thing that was moving was my face and my eyes and my neck.
Lovely.
So the arms are pretty still, and then it sort of goes on and goes tam, tam, tai, tam, tam. But again, we are standing and we are doing it, and it's pretty much in the Bharatanatyam performance. This is the first item where the dancer is opening up. This is the Alaripu, and this is also the first item that is usually taught when children are being, or any dancer is being trained. The second item is that's often done is the Jati Swaram. The Jati Swaram is where we actually start seeing the introduction of music. Because in the Alaripu, as you said, is tam, tam, tai. These are bones. They're called Shallagatta in Tamil. A lot of the vocabulary that we use in Bharatanatyam is in the Tamil language. It originated in Tamil Nadu. So the second item is the Jati Swaram, where Jati basically means, as you were talking about, pure dance and Abhinaya, Nritya, Natya. So Jati Swaram and Alaripu are pure Nritta. This is pure dance. Which basically means there is there's no storyline behind it. There is no meaning per se associated with what we are doing. So in the Jati Swaram, we have music and pure dance. So to sort of give you a glimpse into it. Nida pada magari nirisa. Miri ga ma pa da ni sa ni dha pa da ma ga ri ni sa ni ga ma pa da ni sa. So as you can see over here, we have music. Which is pretty much the first introduction where the dancer is dancing to music per se and not just the Shallagatta. So Jati means the dance, and Swaram is the Saregama Padhanisa. So there is no words in the Jati Swaram in the music. And we follow the Carnatic classical style of music in Bharatanatyam. Traditionally, that's what's been done. And so that is the Jati Swaram. And Jati Swaram, of course, it can be there in various tala cycles, even the Alaripu, in fact, every item, for instance, the Alaripu that I should example of, that is a 6-beat cycle, which is called Rupaka Talam. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ta, tai, taiyum, ta, tam, kirataka. So that is 6 beats. But we can also do it, I mean, there are all these different beats. We can do it in a 7-beat or a Mishra Nadai. So takki, ta, takka, jimmi, ta, tai, ya, taiyum, ta, ta, tam, kirataka. So that's a 7-beat cycle. And similarly, Jati Swaram, everything, we can sort of, we have compositions in various beat cycles. The one I just showed you right now, the 6-beat cycle, that's oftentimes the first Jati Swaram that's learned by children. And after that, the third item that's often taught is the Shabdam. It isn't performed quite as popularly today. Previously, I mean, even 25 years ago or so, an evening length performance could have been 2.5 to 3 hours. But today our audience needs and times have changed. So usually performances are maybe 1.5 hours. So one has had to sort of keep with the times, and oftentimes the Shabdam may be something which is not presented. The Shabdam is primarily where Nritya, which is Abhinaya, is introduced for the first part. And the Shabdam is usually in praise of various deities. Instead of Shabdam, sometimes they might do a Kautvam. Kautvam actually borrows some from the Kavat style, which is seen in Kathak. So Kavat means storytelling. And in the Kautvam, also there is Nritya as well as Nritya, pure dance, and Abhinaya. And it is, again, a story. For example, a Kautam could be a Natesha Kautam, which is in praise of Lord Shiva, known as the Lord of Dance. So, de te te tam de te te de te te tam de te te tadavana muni jana sakala surasura Sannudapada kinkini jam jam jana 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 Nupuralvaya gadi kana 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 Vidhi hari sevita. So over here, we've sort of introduced expression and pure dance as well. So this could be done or a Shabdam. Very often we might skip both of them and we sort of get to the central piece in the Bharatanatyam Margam, which is the Varnam. The Varnam is the central piece, and very often the Rasikas believe that a dancer's mettle can be gauged by their rendition of the Varnam. The Varnam is usually the meatiest piece in a Bharatanatyam recital, and it can last, previously people might perform a Varnam for 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So it's a sizable item, and
it's because it's the faster portion of the dance, or is there some other significance? I mean, since you say it's the meatiest portion, what is it that makes it?
Yeah, I'll explain, because this is where the dancer is sort of getting into an item, and all this time, a lot of times the expressions that we do is very lyrical. It is what the words are. It's sort of a literal translation, and in terms of the music vis-a-vis what the dancer is expressing. In the Varnam, it follows again, there is a composition called a pattern of music in Carnatic music called the Varnam. And in Bharatanatyam, we sort of pick up Varnams from the Carnatic classical tradition and we dance to that. So the Varnam actually has 3 parts. So the first part is the Pallavi and Anupallavi, which has 4 lines. Then there is a Chitta Swaram, which is about an 8 to 16, if it's an 8-beat talam, 2 lines, which are only swarams. And oftentimes there is lyrics with that. And then the third part is the Charanam. And in each of them, the tempo can vary. For example, the Charanam is faster than the Pallavi and Anupallavi. So over here, in the Varnam, there is pure dance, and there is the Abhinaya, or the expressions that go along with it. So I'll sort of give you a Sholakatta for what one of the Jatis, they're called Jatis, which is the pure dance sequence. talangu taka dhiku taka tarikita tom tadiku didiku taka ding takita taka ding ding tukuta ding taku ding taku talangu taka. And it sort of goes on like that. And this is pure dance, where the dance is, it's pure dance. But then right after that, we go into the first line of the Vatnam. So I'll sort of give you an example. This is a Vatnam which is in Ragam Purvi Kalyani. Swami Vara Shulladi Sakhi Kumara. So over here, just to explain what I'm doing. So the Nayika, the heroine, is sort of waiting for her lord, who in this case is Lord Kartikeya or Subramanyam, who is Lord Shiva's second son.
Other son.
Yeah, Lord Ganesha and Lord Kartikeya. So the dancer, the Nayika, the heroine over here, is waiting for Lord Kartikeya to come to her. And he's not been coming. And so she's telling her friend or her Sakhi, Swamiye, my lord, Vara, to come. Shulladi, please ask him to come. Sakhiye, my friend, Sakhiye Kumar. Please ask Lord Kartikeya to come to me. So the first line, so we have, initially the first one, we just do a literal meaning in the first 4 lines. So to give you an example, Swami Vara Shulladi Sakhiye Kumara Swami Vara Shulladi Sakhiye Kumara Swami Vara Shulladi Sakhiye Kumara. And it sort of goes on where the dancer, the Nayika is waiting and he's not coming, and she's getting a little upset, a little miffed, and she's like asking her friend, Tamadam Shayyalagumo. Is it fair to take so much time? Tamadam Shayyalagumo. Either Samayam, given that it's such a beautiful time and Lord Kartikeya is not coming to me. So over here, at this line, I'll show you how there's the literal meaning. And then we go into a section called Manodharma. Manodharma is basically, it's a bit like we are able to continue with it and the dancer's self-expression in terms of expanding upon the lines. So the first few lines are just a literal translation and dance, and then we go into the Manodharma. So, Tamadam Shayyalagumo Id Samayam 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 Tamadam Shayyalagumo Id Samayam. So over here, as you saw, the first few lines was just the literal word meaning, and then we sort of go into the dancer sort of allowed to the freedom, and that's how it's set up, to go into Manodharma, to sort of go into greater details and explore the music further in dance. So that is the 1 minute, of course, gets faster. Then after that, we actually go into a different section of the performance of the evening, and we do the more primarily Abhinaya-oriented pieces, which is again more Nritya. So we have about 2 or 3 Abhinaya pieces. A lot of them are culled from Tamil or Telugu compositions. I can give you an example. So this is a piece where the Lord over here, the hero of the piece, well, we wouldn't really call him the hero, but it is
the protagonist.
The protagonist is actually the dancer, the heroine, but the manic person is Krishna, and
all right.
Krishna has been dallying with other women, and not been coming to her, and she's pretty angry. She's what we call a Khandita Naika. She's angry, she's sarcastic, and Krishna shows up at her doorstep, and she's miffed, and she's like, oh, what are you doing over here in Dendu Varachittivira? What are you here for? Alada, that other woman, this is not her house. She doesn't live anywhere over here, so please go. So we are, of course, exploring different facets of the Naika, and we also have items performed by men. Traditionally, previously it was primarily women, but now we have men and women who perform.
Yes.
But at this point, we get to sort of see different shades of the woman, which I think is very empowering as well. So, in Dendu Varachittivira alada illu ividi karu popoda Dendu Varachittivira alada illu ividi karu popoda. So that's a padam, and we have
beautiful. Thank you.
We have a few such padams, and the final item is usually the Tilana. The Tilana is known as a dance of joy because in the Tilana we come back to pure dance, and there is also one line of Abhinaya at the end of the Tilana. And in the Tilana, we again it showcases the geometric precision that is Bharatanatyam and the sculpturesque poses, which also Bharatanatyam is very well known for. And so there's pure dance. So, and the body, when I'm talking about geometric positions, the body is actually making triangles in Bharatanatyam. For example, when the arms are placed like this. So over here, the arm that you see, this is forming a triangle with the body. Or if the arm is like this, again, we are forming a triangle. So to give one line of the Tilana and go into the Abhinaya. Deem tanana Tilana Tilana nadir deem nadir deem nadir deem nadir deem tanana Tilana Tilana nadir deem nadir deem nadir deem nadir soga sulura hoyalu korini dharichi ritiri nirachira nayame maimarachi sakala characharulella pulakinchi tiyani hayini pinsu siruravarini murali madhuri. So, of course, we get to the Abhinaya towards the end, but it's pure dance with one line of Abhinaya at the end, and that is the Tilana. And we sort of wind down the performance with a Mangalam, which is again something that is done in the Carnatic music tradition. And at that point, the dancer again does the Bhumi Namaskar to end, seeks the blessings of Bhumi Mata, the gods above, her guru. If the guru is usually the one that is conducting the recital, if it's a live orchestra. In fact, all the pieces I showed over here, they've all been taught to me and choreographed by my guru, Padma Shri Srimati Geeta Chandran. So, and in the orchestra, I guess I've been talking about the music. In the orchestra, we have typically the Natuvangam, which is usually done by the guru, and those are the cymbals which are played, and they give the Shollakatta in terms of the bowls that have to be said. We have a vocalist. the mridangam, which is an extremely important part of the Bharatanatyam orchestra, and actually in all Carnatic music, the mridangam, which is, it's like a dholak. It's a one-piece drum with two beating pads. And then we have either a violin or a flautist, sometimes both, sometimes veena as well. So that's pretty much what the orchestra looks like.
You kind of literally left me speechless. I muted myself. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening with you, and a befitting end to the season, because you brought so much joy to us. And we wish you so much of happiness, joy, and more of spreading your beauty through your dance form to everyone you meet and everywhere you go. God bless you, Madhavi, for being with us. Thank you so much to Manoj Krishnan for giving us this platform in helping us spread beauty and grace. Till we meet again, everyone, and again, especially to Madhavi. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy New Year and season. Thank you.